Welcome SWU Nation to The Compass, a show where we discuss today's world from a Christian perspective. I'm Michaela Carr.
And I'm Caroline Maxburg. Today we will talk about the overwhelming debt in America. Let's get started. The average American holds a debt balance of $96,371, according to 2021 Experian data. Mortgage balances are the biggest source of the debt for Americans, and that number continues to rise. The economic impact of debt in America is contributing to financial stress in households across America. American debt consists of mortgage, auto, medical, and student loan debt.
When it comes to U.S. student loan debt, we are $1.75 trillion in debt. Student loan debt continues to grow as students seek to obtain higher education. College costs continue to rise as the pressure to compete in today's job market becomes more commonplace.
For a deeper look on the issue, here's Seth Baby.
I am here in front of SWU's Student Financial Services. Many students have been struggling to deal with college debt due to inflation, and not just the rising prices of student debt, but also the rising prices of basic needs such as groceries or gasoline may be contributing to this.
I guess students need more financial aid now because of the inflation in the economy and stuff. Parents are losing jobs. A lot of home statuses change, so we have to do different things to try to help those students. I mean, even going to the grocery store is so much more expensive now. If you're struggling to afford college, then I would do my best to try to work really hard on your GPA in high school, to find some outside scholarships and stuff, but always check with financial aid.
With the rising prices of inflation, how is student debt actually affecting college students?
It is the main driving reason to finish school at this point because I have so much student debt. If I don't finish, I'll be stuck with it for the rest of my life. I'm going to college for computer science with a minor in cybersecurity and mathematics. I pay monthly on my student loans, the interest while I'm in school. Inflation, the more everything is, it's tacking on. The payments stay the same, but they're still taking money out, and the more other things cost and encroach on what I already have, it's just the harder it gets.
Reporting for MC SWU.
This is what winners are made of. This is what leaders are made of. This is what scholars are made of. This is what believers are made of. This is what warriors are made of.
Welcome back. I'm now joined by Susie Simmons, who is a financial aid counselor here on campus. Thank you for being here today, Mrs. Susie.
Thank you.
How do you feel about the amount of debt that is present in American society today?
I think it's terrible. I think it damages families. I just think 41% of divorces happen because of debt and money.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
So I think it needs to come to an end.
Yeah, I agree. Is having a college degree worth the long-term financial burden it places on many?
I think it depends on the degree that you're seeking. So take, for instance, if you were in the ministry degrees, you're not going to make as much as you do as other degrees. So you have to kind of evaluate that.
Yes, ma'am.
And make sure that you're able to pay those loans off in a timely manner, because it can keep you from doing your full ministry.
Yeah, I agree.
So it just depends. It has to be evaluated by the person who decides.
Exactly. How do you think colleges can be more transparent about how to handle the amount of debt their students will have to deal with?
I think that they could do a better job of sending out communications about the debt, speaking with the students about only taking the amount of loans that you need, and not going over that. Working, get a job to pay on some of that.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. How do you think young people can be educated to handle their finances better? Sorry.
That's okay. I do think it starts in the home. That your parents should be transparent with you about the cost compared to the amount that you're making, and then maybe in high school they could do more preparing you for better scholarships, like tell you why the GPA is so important and explain the whole thing to that. And then maybe some like Dave Ramsey classes. Maybe as a freshman in college, there could be some more classes. Financial literacy also is offered here, so we do try to do that. So you should attend
Yeah.
if you get an email about financial literacy.
Yes, ma'am. How do you help students handle their finances better daily?
Daily, so part of my job is working with the parents and students coming in. We talk about different options. Sometimes commuting is a better option. Sometimes going to tech first because your GPA is too low helps you have more aid when you come in. So just
Of course.
working with students on their loans, trying to send back what you don't need,
Right,
and that
right.
kind of stuff. So we
Yes,
have a lot.
Awesome. Thank you for your insight.
Thank you.
We'll be back after the break.
Wake up and focus. Because this is not a drill. This is not about cliches, shallow taglines, or some inspirational quote for you to tweet, snap, pin, or post. No, this is where snooze buttons are frozen. Alarm clocks are broken, where feet hit the floor because dreams are now woken. This is it. Awaken your dreams. Awaken your soul. Awaken your purpose. This is Southern Wesleyan University.
Welcome back. I am now joined by Landon Adams, who is a junior business major here at SWU. How are you doing today, Landon?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
How do you feel about the amount of debt that is present in American society today?
I think it's a really bad thing that it's a very stressful thing to be hanging over a lot of people's heads in this country. And I think that colleges and universities could do a better job of letting these people know how much they're actually going to have to pay once they've received their degree.
That's good. Do you feel like people our age are good at like saving money and preventing debt, and why or why not?
I feel like I personally do not know anyone who is in a great amount of debt, but I think that a lot of people do go to college for degrees that are not very profitable in the future. So I think that there should be like budgeting classes like required for freshmen and sophomores going into college to learn how to save money better.
Yeah, I think that's really good. How do you think that young people could become more educated in learning how to budget and manage their personal finances?
Well, like I said, with the finance and budgeting classes, I think that would be one way to really help. And also, like, I think parents and families should also kind of be an example of how they budget their finances and go about their yearly budgeting.
That's good. What advice would you give to students dealing with student loan debt or other kinds of debt?
I think one thing that comes to mind is take advantage of community colleges and junior colleges. I personally went to a community college and saved a lot of money doing that, and then before transferring into Southern Wesleyan. So I think that's one way that students should really focus on saving money, is just go into a community college a cheaper way.
Yeah, that is definitely a great way to save some money. So what are you learning like in your business classes to like give people advice about budgeting and managing the personal finances and like preventing debt?
One thing I've learned is that there's a lot of different kinds of budgeting methods based on if you're like running a business or if you're in school. Just to write down how much you're making, like maybe in a Google Doc or Excel spreadsheet, kind of guesstimate how much you're going to spend on food, gas, things like that, and really just take advantage of the opportunities that SWU gives you for, like meal swipes or flex or something like that, and try not to spend too much excess money at like restaurants or just things like that,
Yeah, I think that's definitely helpful in college, not to spend too much money on food, especially like eating out. Thank you for your time. We'll be back with more after the break.
What if there's a place for you where your dreams and future collide with God's vision and direction, where thinking and doing go hand in hand with innovation, where servant leaders of the next generation are grown, and where your story can be written and change the course of history, where generosity is contagious and if you catch it, you just might change the world. This is it. Step into community, step into faith, step into life, step into Southern Wesleyan University.
Welcome back from the break. Michaela, how do you feel about student loan debt in your own life?
I feel like my dad honestly handles most of it. That sounds like I don't really have responsibility, but like I do. The loan is technically in my name, but he really just helps me like right now he's helping me pay for it and pay like some of it off monthly. And basically he just has told me like try to take out as little as possible. Like most likely you're gonna have to take out some just like financially with where like me and my family are at, but like I work a couple jobs already, and so just like trying to save as much as possible, and he really just helps me with that. So yeah.
No, I agree. My parents definitely support me as far as like financially, like being here, although like there are loans that like I've had to take out in the past, and my dad has explained that each loan I take out, create a plan, for each loan and really navigating like how you're going to, pay it back. And I also think it's very important to like plan for the future too, like take out like as much money as you know that you'll be willing to pay back, because it's not free money. So I really appreciate my parents being like that backbone and really helping me navigate through my student loan debt.
Yeah, no, that's really good.
Were you taught how to budget or manage personal finances?
Yeah, so my dad, so he's an engineer, so he's very like intelligent, I feel like, and he like really taught me like how to budget and stuff. So like I keep track of all my receipts. I have like a written budget every month and I try to stick to it, which as a college student can be hard because I feel like income isn't always the same every month because like I have a couple work studies on campus, and income, like I said, is not consistent every single month because I might work more hours this week, or the next week I might not work enough. And so it really just depends on like the income I have and the expenses I have, because groceries aren't always the same, costs are constantly changing, and so you kind of have to like adapt and know that you might not always be able to stick to your like written budget depending on like inflation and like different income streams. So my dad kind of taught me just like keep track of it, have a written budget, and I normally consult him if I'm like gonna make a big purchase. Like if I wanted to buy a new TV or a new phone, I'm like, okay, Dad, what's the best plan for this? Like, do I need to set like a timeline to like save up for a couple months, or what is the best way to do that? And sometimes he helps me out financially if I need it, if it's something for school. But for the most part, like I pay for a lot of my own groceries and things like that while I'm at school because, like I said, I work a couple jobs. Yeah, he's definitely taught me how to like budget and handle my money pretty well.
Awesome. And if we're being honest, like coming into college, like I didn't have the tools I needed, to budget right. But I quickly learned that if you do not budget, if you do not have a plan for every single purchase, you will reap the consequences.
Yeah.
But I am also so thankful that I got to experience like what that looked like at this age, so that when I got older, I wouldn't, deal with it and I don't have nowhere to live, stuff like that. But I definitely like have learned some tactics as far as gas, food, even small things like laundry. And I also like used to think that small purchases like going to the movies or going to an amusement park or something, out the way wouldn't hurt as bad. But like I'm starting to learn that as long as I plan and have a like idea for every purchase, like I will be okay. I think that it's like you said, adapting, to budgeting is something that college students just have to do. Like there's not a right way, coming into college, and it's so much change. So like there's so many things to be unexpected. And so like I do think that most importantly, budgeting for me has become a really, really important aspect of my life. And I really hope that I can take this foundation I learned in college and use it throughout my whole entire life.
Yeah, no, that's really good. Me too. I think it'll definitely help us both like get on our feet whenever we have a job and we're on our own and everything. But no, that's great. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of The Compass. Join us next week as we talk about the transition to college from a Christian perspective.